Okay, today we're going to put in a WBL 848, which goes to a GM truck. And the 848 that's black is a self-locking, meaning it has its own locking lip right here that folds over and locks in the glass when you're putting it in. This is a WBL 848. It's an option Precision came up with per the request of auto glass installers. It's a self-locking option. We still have a WCR 848, which takes a lock strip, and you can use a chrome lock strip on that one or a black one. Greg, what kind of tools do we need for this job?
Today we'll be using a set of glass handling cups. We'll also need a couple of types of hook tools. We'll need a screwdriver, channel, locking strip insertion tool, side cutters, some chisel sticks, utility knife, glass cleaner, and towels. We'll also need safety gloves and safety glasses. The first step is to remove the wiper arms. Now these wiper arms are spring loaded, so what we're going to do is the technique is to level them out and pry up on the far end to remove it from the wiper arm stud. This particular model also has a washer hose. We're going to remove that. Alright, now we're going to remove the lock strip. We're going to get behind the locking clip, which is in the center, using our hook tool. Pulling that out, and Jeff will remove the clip along with the locking strip. Just pulling that out of the groove all the way around the windshield. Now what Jeff is going to do is he's going to remove this lip, exposing the edge of the glass.
So it's pressed down and then simply run the blade against the glass. And it exposes the edge of the glass here.
Jeff is going to insert the hook tool tip in between the gasket on the inside, releasing that from the glass to ready removal of the windshield. Continue up, Jeff. That's breaking that inner seal. And as you can see, on the lip is cut off, the windshield is loose now. We'll be able to pull that right out. Now that's for gasket replacement. If you were saving the gasket, what we're doing is we're just using the hook tool to pull that lip away from the glass, not cutting it. Now the exterior lip is broke loose. Jeff has gone and also broken loose the interior seal. Now what we are going to do is pull this lip back and remove the glass from the gasket. Now you can see Jeff is using flat hands, nice, even, steady pressure, and I'm just pulling back the lip to release the glass from the gasket. The rear view mirror will have a set screw that you'll want to loosen up. The mirror will just slide up out of place. And the 848 has an internal radio antenna in the glass. Now that has an attachment that is located at the base in the center, and it's basically just a snap fit. Peel back the rubber guard and just snaps off the windshield, exposing the button that's on your new windshield. We've now installed the glass handles, and we will remove the windshield from the truck. I'll hand it over your way, Jeff. In replacing the gasket now, once the glass is out, just grab a hold of the gasket and pull it off the body. Kind of tucked under the dash a little bit. Now at this point, you want to take one of your chisel sticks and remove the old sealant and get yourself a nice clean surface so you can replace the sealer.
Okay, we are doing a dry install for demonstration purposes, so we're not following the Agra standard right now. We're going to put in the WBL 848. What we need to do is slip this over the pinch weld. There's the gap right there, and Greg's going to show you how to center it.
Using this vulcanized seam on the gasket, if you have the 848, it has the radio antenna, and you just want to line the two up.
And the reason we're putting the seam down in the center is for aesthetical purposes. You don't want the seam in the corner or up on top. You want to hide it the best you can. And this is an install that you need to put on the body first. If you put it on the glass, the gasket's going to look way too big and it's going to fall off the glass actually. Okay, as you can see, we're finishing up putting the gasket on. When you get to this point, if you have a bubble here or too much material, or what appears to be too much material, you need to work it back. Our part matches the OEM part. This will fit, so you'll need to pull off some of it more than likely to start working it back.
The technique for working it back is you want to push the material back where it's seated, kind of feeding it.
And some of the common areas where you're going to have to push it back a lot is the corners to really push it back on itself. All right, there you go. You see that we've worked out all what appeared to be the excess material, and we are ready to put the glass in.
What we're doing now is applying a little bit of the glass cleaner to the gasket to make it easier for that lip to wrap around the glass to seat it into the gasket. All right. What I'll do is I'll have Jeff put his corner of the windshield in the gasket in the glass groove first. Walk it along the bottom, putting it in the groove. We'll use a hook tool. Now the technique to stay away from the glass using any of these hook tools or ball tools is that you want to hold the tool at the angle where it's pulling that lip up away from the glass. You don't want to be riding this tool against the glass. You want to be pulling the gasket out from underneath the glass.
It's important to note that you could use soapy water for this, but you do not want to use any oil-based like WD-40 or anything, because you want this to evaporate when you are done.
And as we're pulling that lip around, we want to put a little bit of pressure on the glass to hold it into the gasket. And you may have to work this a couple times. Take your time. Another technique for this installation is if you have one corner set, Jeff can take his cup and pull it that way. That relieves a little bit of tension from this end of the locking lip, so I can pull it out from underneath the glass. Once that's completed and you have your bottom corner set, you want to kind of just move the glass back and forth to kind of center it in that gasket before you complete the rest of your installation.
So what we're doing here is Greg is working it in with the hook tool, and I'm just gently tapping with an open hand. Not this, nice open hand.
You're seating that glass down into the gasket where it's supposed to be seating.
And you'll know when it gets in, it'll pop past this lip right here, and it'll actually settle in.
Now, one thing after the installation you may notice, and don't be alarmed, but usually on the corners, mainly on the bottom corners, you will see a gap between the gasket and the body. On this WBL, don't be alarmed, because we will be locking in the strip, and that will bring that gasket down onto the body. Okay, now with this self-locking tab, we're going to pull this lip towards the glass and then put that locking tab underneath the glass strip. Just lock it in place. Now, due to the design, this tab sticks out quite a ways. So it's going to take quite a bit of persuasion to get it down underneath. This is where patience pays off. And just keep working that out and getting that locking strip underneath there. You have to go back and set a couple places, but just keep working it.
Okay, now we're just finishing up locking the gasket in. Greg sprayed a little bit with the glass cleaner to help lubricate it so it's easier to lock in. You see it's going nice and slow. It's taking its time, making sure it locks in properly to hold the windshield. Once you're done, you can see he's wiping it down and make sure everything looks good and locks the way we want it to. Okay, now we got the glass in, we have two things left to do. Reattach the antenna and the mirror. So the antenna is basically a reverse order. You have the button that's on the windshield here. Just push it down and snap it on. And then for the mirror, you want to slide over the button and take your screwdriver and tighten down the set screw, and then adjust it to where you need it. Okay, one last thing here to do is to put the wiper blade back on, making sure that you just hook up your windshield wiper hose, otherwise you're going to spray washer fluid everywhere. Okay, we finished the installation of the WBL 848. If you have any questions, please contact us via the phone number or social media. Also, remember to order the precision part from your local retailer.